Chris Carter, and here we have the reservoir wetlands of Leeds, Massachusetts. As you can see, a number of trees have been cut down. But these weren't just any trees, these were red pine trees. Now the reason these trees were cut down was because of an insect infestation known as the red pine scale. And in order to stop this infestation from spreading, all the red pines had to be cut down in order to protect all the other trees. Now this isn't the first time this happened. Apparently, during the 1940s, this first started in southern New England, New York, New Jersey, and eastern Pennsylvania. And just recently, 3 years ago, it also occurred in New Hampshire and Maine. So they decided to have them all cut down, and so to keep the this somewhat disease from spreading. I'm going to interview a woman named Nicole Sanford, a scientist who took part in this, and I'm going to interview her about it and see what she knows.
My name is Nicole Sanford. I'm Senior Environmental Scientist with the City of Northampton Department of Public Works. And my main responsibilities as environmental scientist are watershed management, managing the forestry program, land acquisitions, and general permitting and compliance. I get a lot of the engineers in our engineering division permits to do work near wetlands. What we're doing is we're harvesting some of those trees. Not all of the trees, but some of the trees. And some of those trees, the stands, occur very close to roadways and utility wires. So there was a concern, a safety concern, that when those plants die, it would be a problem for the city. So it was just a way to kind of stay ahead of this and to manage that for the future when these trees do in fact die. So we did do some logging. And the reason we did some logging too is because there was some value in those red pines, so the red pines that were still living. We aren't planning on planting trees, but basically the logging that happens around here, typically no, you don't replant after that. And really what you do is you hope that the forest will regenerate itself. And that's really kind of dependent upon a lot of things. Basically, are there other invasive species around? And we do have issues with invasive species, but we're doing our best to mechanically manage those plants so that we can allow other trees to grow. Because as the Department of Public Works wears many hats, but one of those is water supply protection. And what's really important is to have a forest around reservoirs because it protects the drinking water. It's the first source protection for that drinking water. So we do want to grow trees. It's just planting them sometimes economically isn't feasible, and it doesn't always work. So foresters have found that trees will actually grow from seed. They'll seed in from nearby stands. And that the understory, if there is already regeneration or small trees or saplings in the understory, actually when you cut some of those large canopy trees, you'll allow light to come in and those trees will be better able to grow. We do plan, the other plans for the property would include if there are other invasive species. And when I say other invasive species, I'm talking more about invasive plants that would interfere with forest regeneration. The plans would be to maintain those areas, to try to control or prevent those invasive species from overtaking trees. Because again, the goal of the water supply property is to have a forest on it. So, depending upon the area, we've had areas where all the red pine have been cut and the invasive vegetation has been so bad that the only way to deal with it is to mow it. That's not happening on Chesterfield Road. That's not happening in the city of Northampton. But that is happening on water supply property someplace else. So that's just an example of what we're doing. We're monitoring it and at this time controlling it in a mechanical way, so to keep invasive species from taking over tree species, basically.